Joined by High Point University head coach Flynn Clayman, Rob Martin, and Terry Anderson. Coach.
Yeah, great college basketball game. Give Asheville a ton of credit. You know, we kind of jumped them 2 times during the season, and Coach Morrell is definitely one of the best coaches in this league. You know, they're really short-handed in terms of their depth, and he really controlled that game with his play calling, and they gave us everything they had, so credit to them, especially with playing late last night. I thought on our side we handled a lot of toughness. We handled a lot of adversity. We didn't break when we got down. I'm just really proud of this team. I'm really proud to call this my first team. You know, this team has now tied the most wins in Big South history already. All right, they have a chance to set a record on that, obviously, tomorrow. You know, and it's just to lose 96% of our scoring or whatever we lost last year, and to have a bunch of new guys come in and work for each other. Sacrifice for each other. Look at Chase Johnson. Like, dude started every game for us last year, started the first 11 games. You know, to finish the regular season title, he bangs in 4 threes for us today, a big shot there towards the end of the game. So just a great team effort. I got to give Yusuf a ton of credit. You know, he hasn't played much this year, and with Owen getting in foul trouble, he really stepped up for us. He played 18 minutes. I think that's the most he's played all season against a Division I opponent. So great team effort. Proud of the guys, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Great. Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions. Go back here.
Yeah. Rob, take me through that play with Chase Johnson. The pass to him and the 3-point. Take me through that play.
Man, just keeping the confidence in Chase and talking to him and keeping him level-headed, man. He has a great journey, great year. And I just told him to shoot with confidence, and I had 2 defenders on me, and then I hit it and I believed in him, and he knocked the shot down.
Reese.
Mr. Clayman, what are you going to tell your team tomorrow before the game to end High Point season on a high note?
I'm going to just tell them to enjoy the moment. You know, don't let any pressure get to you. There's been a lot of hard work throughout the year from these guys, and to get to this moment where it's one more game, to get everything that you've worked for months and months and months, I'm going to just tell them to let the work show. Don't let the outside pressure or anything get to them, and just keep being good teammates and keep playing for each other.
Go right here.
Terry, you've had a larger role this year as kind of the alpha of the squad. And last year, you came off the bench, had a big role last year here in the tournament, and this year you've just been usually the go-to guy. So what has changed for you this year? And Coach, if there's anything you've seen in Terry that's changed him for this year and taking that larger step?
I mean, this year I just feel like I'm more healthier and more experienced, kind of like, because the whole summer, like, we've been working on my game and stuff like that, and I feel like I developed more, like, since last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a ton of difference, honestly. I just think he's playing more. Like, this guy was an all-conference player before he got here. But he's like, you know, people talk about our team. I mean, there's some underdogs on this team. Like, this guy had 0 offers out of high school. He didn't even get to a D1 JUCO. He was at a D2 JUCO. When I went to watch him at his JUCO, I was the first college coach to ever visit a practice there. This guy's hung, and the crazy thing is he had about a triple-double in that game. And then after that game, while I'm driving back to the airport, his coach sends me a picture of him drenched in sweat. Now, this is when I was at my previous school. I missed on him the first time, all right, but I'm so happy we got him the second time. He's a great player. He's been a great player. You know, he just – and we saw that in the conference tournament last season. You know, he was just behind a first-team All-League guy that was returning.
Okay. Emily?
How does it feel to win this big game? How does it feel to win this game today?
It's just, I'm proud of the team. You know, really proud for these guys because they've really worked hard. So when your guys really work hard for each other and they are good teammates, you know, you want them to be rewarded, you know. And obviously the other locker room is the opposite, and they're not going to get exactly what they want, you know. But you feel relieved for your guys, and I'm just happy for them.
Brian?
Flynn, you mentioned not cracking when you guys got down. When you have veterans like Rob and so many veterans in that locker room, in that huddle, that have seen this before, didn't settle, didn't rush, stayed, you know, with the game plan. How big is it to have that veteran presence just to keep you in those situations?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we're top 25 in the country D1 experience on this team. We've had guys who've won national titles. We've had guys who led their team to conference tournament titles last year. Guys who've played in the Sweet 16 last year. That's why you hope to get old and stay old. Like they talk about. And obviously, there's some great young freshmen playing college basketball right now. But we wanted to get old, experienced guys who've been through this or been knocking on the door. Like Rob won his regular season last year, and then they fell short in the semifinals. And part of the thing he wanted to come here was he wanted to get through, and it's just been we've had a ton of blowout games this year, so that was a little bit of my concern early in the season, and we did drop a couple close ones early, but that just kind of shows to the public the character that these guys have behind closed doors. They really want to win for High Point. They're not about just themselves. They're not about the checks that they're getting. None of that. They're really about this team, and that's a difficult task. And today, it's not talked about enough. When there's rev share going on and you got young kids, I just can only imagine how hard that is to continue to be selfless. It's a difficult task, and that's what I'm going to be whatever happens tomorrow, that's what I'm going to be most proud of these guys.
Brent?
For any of you guys that want to answer it, obviously the further you go, the bigger the games get. You need to have that third and fourth option. How big was Scotty for you guys?
I'm fortunate, obviously. Like, you got a guy like Scotty, and we're talking about him stepping up. I mean, he was an all-conference player last season, before he even got here. So he's just one of the guys who's kind of sacrificed his personal numbers throughout the year for the team. And like I've told them throughout the year, when you get to this tournament, nobody's going to forget that Scotty Washington is a great scorer. Just because he's averaging 8 points per game. He's still a guy who can go get 30 any night. But what he's showing this year is that he can defend and that he can be efficient and that he can be a champion. And guys like him, when they have their moment, he's had 2 great games in this tournament. Like, it's the same thing last year with Bobby stepping up in the tournament and Terry and Trey Benham and Lathium. When this moment comes, they forget about their numbers, and it means nothing. So really, having a guy like Scotty step up, I'm not surprised at all because he's a great player.
For y'all too, you guys are 2 leaders on the teams. You got y'all's poise and mindsets late in games like these?
Just being able to fight adversity, get our guys together, knowing that's a game of runs, and believing in one another. So I feel like we did that, and staying together. That's the main thing, staying together, and just playing for one another, being in the gaps, rebounding, helping Yusuf, or just anybody that's rebounding at a high level. So, yeah.
He took off.
Brian?
When we talked after Winthrop, and you mentioned at that point that you felt you had that coming, that you saw that kind of ahead. This group has really kind of internalized and turned their focus inward after that game. How much did that game change this season?
I mean, I think it's a combination of that game changed the season, but also that Winthrop's really good. Like, we were that's just a good basketball team. To go on their home floor and win is tough. So, but I've loved the way we've responded. And the thing that these guys face that quite frankly some of these other teams don't is that if they lose any game, it feels like the world just crumbled on them and everybody thinks we're not good enough, we're not living up to expectations. It's been every single game throughout the year. It's a lot of pressure on guys, but I think when you go through that throughout a season, when you get to this one and done scenario where it's both teams now have the same thing to lose, it prepares you well. So, but that Winthrop game, that's the one time that we've got our butt kicked in the last few years. Even the UAB game, we were up at halftime and we were kind of tied with 5 minutes left and they separated. They kicked our butt, we got sloppy, and that was a wake-up call that, hey, you might be talented, but if you don't have good fundamentals, if you don't take care of the basketball, if you don't play tough defense, if you don't rebound, you're going to get blown out. So love the way we've responded from that.
All right, Coach, guys, congratulations.
Thank you.